Zoe Home Inspired Living. My name is Rina. I'm a chemical engineer by profession and put up my own cosmetic active ingredients company when I was 30 years old. I was very successful in my field, but an illness put an end to my career. Now in my new normal, I stay at home and tend our family while I also decorate, do table settings, I paint, I sew, I garden, and bake for tea time. I pray you will be inspired by your visit. Hello everyone! Today, I'm going to show you the works that we have been doing in the garden for the past months, because what is inspired living without the joys of gardening? If, of course, it's a part of the beautiful life that we are trying to live. You will see also how we are groping in the dark when it comes to gardening, because I cannot do the works myself, although I do my very best to, crawl. Because of my physical difficulties and limitations, I don't have complete strength. If you have watched my intro, the complete intro, because of my illness, but I do my best to weed and also to position the plants like that. And mostly I supervise our workers. This desire for French provincial inspired house and garden started when we renovated this house in 2021. Almost the whole year we renovated, and I'm going to put the link below so that you can see our before and after of this house. So I desired French provincial house with all the moldings outside of the house itself, and also so I chose this limestone color of paint, and then we put moldings, and also these two urns are the very first urn planters that I painted. So this is in line with my French provincial plan for the facade of the house. So that's the very start of my plan to have a French provincial inspired house. This facade here and these topiaries, I am very, very glad that they are thriving now. They used to be very, very thin. And also this creeping Charlie here, and that other one also there. I don't think they love the sun. They don't, because they all hide here behind. They all have become very thick here at the back, but in front there's none. So they don't love the sun. So now I'm going to show you the works we've been doing from the very start. So we start again, because we did the gardening when we moved here, but it was like trial and error, and now we start again following that desire for a French inspired curve. So these gardening projects are divided into three. This first part is the front of the house, or the curb, what we did there. And then there's a corner garden that I'm turning into a French inspired corner garden. And then the whole end of the property I'll be showing you in future videos. I am not showing you this to teach you how to garden, because there are many other gardening channels that can do that. But I am sharing this because this is a part of inspired living. This is what I call a very miserable garden. It's not that we didn't take care of it. Yes, of course, we watered and we fertilized. That is when I remembered to do so. I think the problem lies when I didn't have any design or plan about this front or curb, this front part of the house. We just planted whatever I thought would work, and it didn't. I had those stones placed because our garden is sloping so that the soil will not erode, and I imagined that those forget-me-nots will cascade down like this one, what we are looking at right now, but these are only the two. The others, they did not flourish. And also I imagined that the santan, I don't know the English word for it, but we call it santan. I imagine it to become very thick like a hedge, but it didn't. But this time, believe it or not, I have a plan. What we are going to do with the help of my helpers, we are going to remove the santan and the forget-me-nots and leave only the cypress and the topiary balls. And then we are going to amend the soil. We are going to put in compost and loam soil with organic nutrients. We are going to amend the soil so that it will become rich and the plants will thrive. Here, Nerio is digging up the santan plants, and I instructed him to transplant them into the other side of the property. And then we are going to work on the soil. He's taking great care in removing them so that, hoping that they will live where they are transplanted, but they wouldn't. And for me, that's a blessing because I wanted other plants for that other part of the property, which you will see in a later video. One of our helpers are digging up the weeds so that when we add the amendments for the soil, there will be no weeds underneath. Now the whole place has been cleaned up, leaving only this poor forget-me-nots, but later on I will decide to remove that as well. So we have the topiary balls and also this tiny cypress. Yes, now we are going to amend the soil. This is where we transplanted the santan plants, but later on they would all perish, which is all right because I had other plans for that part. First, we are putting in cow manure around the plants that remained on the front, and then later on we are also going to add vermicast or vermicompost and loam soil on top. We are using pure cow manure, which I order online. It's readily available on Facebook Marketplace. And since it's pure, we have to pulverize it before using. We also added cow manure into the space where we are going to plant. Here, Nerio is pouring out the loam soil on top. Our loam soil are sold in bags and they are rich in nutrients, soil nutrients, and organic fertilizers. This time, I want to be generous with this nutrient-rich soil so that we will be successful in our garden projects. First mistake though, I decided to use Coffea plants. These are tiny plants with tiny purple flowers. I decided to use them on the front as a hedge, although they grow up to only maybe 2 feet because we were successful in planting them up the stairs, the brick stairs in front of the porch. So what I thought that I would also be successful in using them here on the front because the Coffea plants, even though when you neglect them, they still flourish. But later on, I found the boxwood. Yes, for the past year, I have been looking for the boxwood, which is normally used for hedges. And now finally, I found it. So again, we will be redoing everything. Because I wanted to play safe and not see more plants dying on me, I decided on the Coffea plants. I also realized how tiny the Coffea plants are, and so I was disappointed. If these Coffea plants could talk, I don't know what they would say. They will probably complain because they are being dug up again to be transplanted into another flower bed in the garden. Because this time, I have already the boxwood. We transplanted them into this flower bed, which is my garden project number 2, and I will show you in a future video. Don't worry, they are happy where they are planted for good. First, we are positioning this big topiary ball at the corner of that front. And yeah, it's not that thick yet. The leaves are not thick yet. So we are positioning it there because of my plan of a French-inspired curb. To make the plants happy, when we plant them, we pour vermicast into the soil around them. It was high noon, but we couldn't be stopped. So here are the Boxwoods, and there are 2 batches from 2 different sellers. The first seller, I was able to buy all their stocks, and the Boxwoods are already very tall, and the other seller, his boxwoods are just small. So we have 2 different sizes of boxwood. We transplanted the forget-me-nots, but they didn't make it. They died slowly after a few days. We are planting in this big urns for either side of the brick stairs going to the patio. So we are planting cypress, and then around the cypress we are also planting this portulaca or Vietnam rose. Well, these are very easy to take care of. They are not that sensitive. They can actually endure the harsh afternoon sun which we get in these mountains. I would have loved to plant English ivy around this cypress, but they wouldn't be able to endure the hot afternoon sun. After a month or so, we are finally pruning the boxwood. And I realized that we should have planted them much closer to each other, but I'm hoping that they will really grow thick. But maybe I'm going to add some more in parts where they are really very far apart. I was the one filming, but I was drawn to the flowers of this gumamela or hibiscus plant, and they are just so pretty. Nerio is tucking in those overgrown branches of the topiary ball. I instructed him to tuck them in instead of cutting them. Looking at the thinly covered topiary ball, it's so disappointing, but I have hope. You have seen the topiary balls, how they are still very thin, the newly planted ones, but I don't lose hope because before these spiral topiaries were also very thin. They started out very thin, but now they are thriving like this and they have become very thick. So I'm happy, really happy with them. These are the cofeas that line the brick stairs going up to the porch, and they have been here for over a year now, and they are still blooming like that. I want to imagine that they are lavender. Maybe later on I'm going to replace them with boxwood, as I have said, but for now they are okay there. I know that there are still a lot of improvements to be done also in my knowledge of gardening, but I have been really studying the plants that love the shade or the plants that love the sun, because we have harsh afternoon sun in this part of the house. So I will be updating you with regard to my boxwood. For now, I thank you so much for watching, and I hope that I have inspired you to go out there and work with your hands with the earth and enjoy gardening. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you on next video. God bless. Bye!